Hey everyone, have I here bringing a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the official full details of EZA Gogeta Blue and Full Power Broly. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. And if you haven't seen my speculation video on this, I was about half right and half totally off base. I kind of still like the dynamics that I put in for my speculation video. If you want to go check that out, check that out. But let's go ahead and dive into the official details that of course ended up dropping last night. Wasn't able to make a video right away, so I'm posting it of course right now and give you guys my thoughts on these two units. So let's first start off with Gogeta Blue, or Super Saiyan Gogeta that transforms into Gogeta Blue. We've just been calling it Gogeta Blue for so long, it's kind of stuck. Now the leader skills were, a given. Basically it went from movie heroes and fusion, Ki plus 3, attack 170%, and then HP attack and HP and defense 130 for fusion, and then 150 for movie heroes. They just said, you know what, we'll just make it all 170%. So, at least there's another movie heroes leader. Not like we don't have enough movie heroes leader, but yeah, it's a little bit overkill on that. But fusion, we have fuse fighters now, so that's a little bit obsolete. So the leader skill really doesn't matter when it comes to this unit here. Now, I want to go down below in the visual here, and the stats are really good for this unit here. 19.5 for HP, over 20,000 for attack, and 13,000, over 13,000 for defense. That really makes this unit really strong, even though he does have a dodge mechanic. So let's dive into the super attack here. The super attack here, a little bit disappointing. They ended up just doing greatly raises attack and then raises defense, and that's it. So they didn't just make it greatly raises attack and defense. So it's only a 30% boost on super attack, but of course this is immense damage on Extreme Z Awakening, which is the highest multiplier in the game, better than like an SA25. Yes, SA15 for TUR units here, and EZA's is the highest SA multiplier. And now the passive skill is very interesting because they kept it very simple, where I was like, that's probably where they're gonna go, is make it very simple, because these two units really didn't have much when it comes to like other dynamics. So, but I'm okay with what they ended up doing. So the passive skill here, True Strength, they provided Ki plus 2, so that's nice that you just get automatic Ki. That wasn't available previously there. You do have attack and defense that raised from 100% to only 140. I was actually surprised by this number here, but of course you see a different additional boost to attack and defense, 50% when attacking. I don't mind it because of, I guess, the dodge mechanic if you're going to be in first position, but you're probably not going to run this in first position anyway, so I'm okay with that attack and defensive boost basically when attacking. Now of course this is effective against all types, just like pretty much every Gogeta, and instead of a medium chance of evading enemies attack, including super attack, you have a high chance. So you do have a 50% chance, like a LR Gaku, things of that nature. So it makes it a little bit more usable, especially in the beginning of the fight. Now, the biggest issue with all these EZAs with transformation mechanics on there is they don't change the transformation condition. So it is going to be starting from the 5th turn and beyond, and hopefully you'll transform by the time you get to the final stage, because you don't want to be cruising around with just a high chance and really not that much defensive boost, right? So link skills and categories basically stay the same from previous of the EZA here. You have Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, Fuse Fire, Fierce Battle. Really good link set, solid enough for the teams that he's probably going to be on. Categories, he's on a lot of categories, which is very beneficial. Fusions, Realm of Gods, Transformation Boost, Movie Heroes, Super Saiyans, Final Trump Card, which I'm expecting big things from Final Trump Card, hopefully coming soon. They only have a 170% lead, by the way, which is crazy. But anyway, Powerful Comeback, Time Limit, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Fuse Fighters, and Super Heroes. So again, stats are really good. Let's go ahead and now take a look at the transformation after the 5th turn. So yes, it's going to take a while for this unit to get here, and I think I'm fine with what they did. I was hoping for some damage mitigation, but I was thinking to myself that doesn't make any sense for a dodge unit, for an evasion unit, but it would have made sense if they would have did like damage reduction, against like a movie boss, because the funny thing about this unit here is it dodges, but when you're doing red zone Broly, you can't dodge. So yeah, go figure. So if they would have added like a damage reduction against Broly characters or Broly enemies or movie bosses or something like that, would definitely make more sense if you're going to be running that for the red zone. But anyway, the super attack does get a really nice boost here. So you go from that regular raises defense to now greatly raises defense, which is a 50% boost on the SA multiplier and defense, but not only for 3 turns, but for 4 turns. So you kind of have like a mini stacking ability when you transform. It's not overly conditional forever, but for 4 turns, that's really good. You can really stack this up a little bit for those 4 turns and get some pretty decent defense. And of course, attacking ability as well. Once you at least get a couple of super attacks off. So the passive skill does not help with that though. So the biggest issue here is that it doesn't provide like an additional attack that's going to provide you an opportunity for super attack. It's going to be based off of the skill orbs and things of that nature that you're going to have to do. So you do get an additional key plus 3 attack and defense. Instead of 130%, it's 150%. So not a huge boost, right? So it was interesting because you go from here, you go from 140 to 150, and you look at this was 100% to 130. So I was hoping like the same boost there. They could have easily made this 180 versus 150. But anyway, they'd still kept the attack and defense when attacking 50%. Instead of effective against all types, they are keeping the same mechanic where you're critting versus effective, which is of course much stronger. And then you go from a high chance to a great chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack. But here's a kind of an interesting piece here. They added a attack benefit dynamic, right? Plus an additional key plus 2, which it's kind of overkill by now, having plus 3 and then plus 2, and then I guess pretty decent links. And then additional attack 50% for 4 turns after receiving or after evading an attack. So once you dodge, right, you're going to basically have the same boost as the SA multiplier in the super attack, but this is your passive, which will increase the main attack stat versus the SA multiplier. So much stronger when it comes to that, and that's going to go for basically the same amount of turns like the defensive boost will happen. So I think when you correlate it together, it's going to be fine. You're going to have some really strong defense with very powerful attack while critting, right? Don't forget, you're critting. If you can get an additional off, that's going to be very beneficial, because then you're able to kind of mini stack here to get the addition off. But no internal additional that they created for you. But being a AGL unit, you should probably just stack up on the additional attack and be fine. So link skills, you do change one link skill. I'm glad that they've kind of got rid of this mechanic. We haven't seen this recently where they change the link skills after transformation. So but anyway, instead of Golden Warrior, it's Warrior Gods. So now let's go ahead and move on to the Broly. But by the way, I think Gogeta Blue, they did it pretty nice. I think it'll perform fairly well. So, but again, these aren't game breaking units. They're just solid, more relevant units now. So let's look at the Broly here. Broly, same thing. Movie boss's full power was in that 170, 150, 130. Now it's 170% across the board for movie bosses at full power. I guess we can, use 170% for some of these, but again, not as relevant as some of these other, off the cuff, very small type of categories that don't have 170%, like Final Trump Card, which is in a small category. It just doesn't have one for some reason. Anyway, the super attack here, instead of just raising attack, it actually greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. However, the biggest issue here is it does provide supreme damage versus immense damage, but it is an AoE unit, so hey, great for World Tournament. And of course, supreme damage to all enemies with the Blaster Meteor. Now, the passive skill here, the Savage Instinct, you do keep this key plus 6. I figured they weren't going to increase this anymore because key plus 6 is ridiculous already. And then it goes from attack 100 and 30% to 150%, and then defense 100% to only 120%, which was very low when I first read it. I was like, wow, that's extremely low. But there's an additional mechanic here of an additional 120% to attack and defense if you're going up against one enemy, and additional 150%, and you do additional super attack when there's 2 or more enemies. So when you're fighting 2 or more enemies, this guy's rocking. This is gonna crush a lot of super battle roads. But then this additional dynamic here performs an additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super attack. So I'm guessing that this is separate from the additional super attack that you're going to do when you're against 2 or more enemies. So you can actually get 3 SAs off here, which is interesting. So I forgot to talk about the stats. The stats are really, really nice here as well. 21,000, almost 22,000 in HP. It's quite a bit. Almost 20,000 in attack, so 19,863. And then defense is over 12,000, which is good. It's not 13,000, but 12,000 is still really good for really any type of unit. So the transformation conditions is better than the Gogeta Blue, right? Because you're going to go into full power starting from the 4th turn. Now the link skills, you're with 6 key, you're not gonna have any problems getting SA off, but you do have some link skills here with Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan Prodigies, Berserker, Shocking Speed, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. No, since this is an extreme unit, no big bad bosses for some apparent reason. It would have been nice. Would link up a lot better with other units and other bosses, right? But the funny thing, he's movie bosses leader, but not having a link skill of big bad bosses. So anyway, categories: movie bosses, pure Saiyans, full power, transformation boost, Super Saiyans, exploding rage, miraculous awakening, gifted warriors, and power beyond Super Saiyan. Now when he changes into full power Broly, it's interesting what they did here. So the super attack is the gigantic catastrophe. So instead of greatly raises attack, they downgraded it to just raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Now, however, it does change to immense damage for full power Broly versus supreme damage. So really strong multiplier there, and this continues to keep the massively raises or lowers defense. So the reason why they did this was you're going to be getting multiple SAs off. That's the design of this unit here. And you're getting Ki plus 8, which is, again, sticking to the normal boost from previous EZA here, right? So before EZA, he's getting plus 8 to Ki, which is crazy. Attack at 180% goes to 200%, and defense from a 120 goes to 200. So very strong on the defensive boost, right? They just made it flat out 200% to attack and defense, and then additional attack with a high chance of becoming super attack. That was already a part of the kit here, so they just kind of kept it as is. Would have been nice to make it like a great chance. But then you get an additional 200% to attack, which is crazy, and 100% to defense when you're fighting one enemy. So that is really strong. 200%, and then on top of that, another 200% when you're fighting one enemy. Well, that's generally what you're going to be doing, after 4 turns, right? So then you get attacking defense 120% when there's 2 or more enemies, which again, you're not going to probably come across after 4 turns. Launches an additional super attack straight up. You get an additional super attack starting from the turn after performing 3 super attacks during the course of the battle. Now, I'm not sure this is going to count regular Broly, Super Saiyan Broly, so I'm guessing it's only going to count when you're full power Broly. So 3 super attacks, you're going to need to get lucky, and then once that happens, this is going to be a really strong unit. If you can get a guaranteed super attack off, have an additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super attack, and of course your normal super attack as well. So, and not even talking about proccing a skill orb, right? So, or part of the hidden potential system. So it'd be interesting to see how this guy performs, because there's a lot of mechanics that need to take place, but that's a pretty impressive boost when it comes to attack. Defense, we'll see. We'll see if he can, deal with the hard end game content like Red Zone. So, link skills stay the same, categories stay the same, nothing changes. So there you have it. That is both Gogeta Blue and Full Power Broly. Tell me what you guys think. Again, I was close on some of it, like the passive boost and stuff like that, but they didn't go with damage reduction or, you know, category boosts, you know, fighting against certain enemies boost, stuff like that. They just went straight on passive skill percentage boost, which is fine. I think Gogeta is going to be definitely a better unit with the evasion mechanic and, you know, a decent defensive mechanic, especially when you're able to stack a little bit, a mini stack with a super attack when you transform. But BROLY gets his boost right up front, so 200% to defense, additional 100% to defense, and then additional 30% on super attack, which you can get maybe another 3 super attacks off, which you give him 90% boost. So again, very interesting dynamic on here. Tell me what you guys think. You know, did they do a good job? Are you still fairly disappointed when it comes to EZAs of Dokkan Festival exclusive units of recent? We've had some pretty good ones, but you know, I think Gogeta Blue is going to be really good. Full Power BROLY is going to be very interesting. It is going to be probably the new World Tournament King. So again, thank you all for watching. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Comment below. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are as well. And with that in mind, thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.